Gibbo presents.
It's clear from what you've just said there that you've been doing your homework on the other sounds. And also, you said earlier on in the interview how important preparation was. How long did you spend preparing for last year's clash? And when did you start preparations for this year's?
The day we got called for the clash and we agreed to it, that's the day preparation starts. The very next moment, once the phone get hanged up, or the email is finalized, or whatever the case may be, to make the clash possible.
Well, basically, once I accept it,
that's when preparation starts.
Let's get
five minutes right after that, because it's gonna take about 5 minutes to get all of us on the phone together, and then from then on, every day from then on.
So is it a research process first in terms of listening to audio and watching video?
Well, I can't sit here and go through the process, but what I can say is, before we even knew who we were clashing, we had to basically come up with an idea of what we wanted to do, what new ideas we wanted to bring to the table. What's gonna make a lasting impression. This is before, because like I said, before I even knew who was on the bill, I was willing to come back and defend my title, because what's the sense of being winners if you can't come back and defend it? From where we're from, it's only right.
So what we'll do is we'll say, all right, we're taking a clash. If we don't know the sounds that's in it, we'll start coming up with ideas of, all right, this year we could try to do this, we can do that, we can do this, and bring it all together.
So basically, to answer your question, from the time we're called, that's when preparation for a clash begins. And that's one of the reasons why we don't clash as often as most people would like, because every time we clash, we want to be able to make that. We want if we can gain at least one fan out of every time we go out, I'm satisfied with that, because they're gonna appreciate the work that we put into this. So at the end of the day, we're not rushed to do anything, because when we do come to perform, and that's why, even out here in Brooklyn, we have a big fan base because of that, because they know when we step on stage, they're going to get something new, something refreshing, So, and in order to keep going with that, you can't go, for us, being such a young sound, we can't go out and clash every week and do, because at the end of the, in a year's time, people are gonna get tired of you. They're gonna get tired of the sound, And at the end of the day, it's a money business. You have to pay for music. Yeah. We're not rich,
we want to be a breath of fresh air.
Exactly. So we take our time with it. So
coming into last year's clash, the hardcore fans in Europe were familiar with you, but I'm guessing there was a fair few people in attendance who didn't know too much about Kosmik Movements. Since then, as you mentioned, you've been back to Europe, you've also been featured in Rhythm Magazine, and your profile and following across Europe has increased. Will your expanded fan base mean things are easier for you this time round, or will things be harder for you as the element of surprise you brought last time won't be as prominent?
I don't know, because
it can go both ways, because you just have to be humble about the situation and know that, people want to hear good music. At the end of the day, they want to be entertained, So if we bring that to the table every night, then I'm sure that, our fans will, they want to hear, they want to see us. So we have to bring it for them, we have to. So I don't think, I think the reception is going to be, we're going to have a good reception, but at the same time, there's going to be a lot of pressure on us, because we can't drop the ball. We don't want people to say, oh, I'm going to see Kosmik, and then Leaf said, I could have just stayed home, and we don't want to bring that. We want them to to leave a dance and be like, wow, yo, and that's one of the reasons why we were able to grow so fast, is because we try to bring that energy every time.
How did you guys react when you found out the UK Cup Clash was going to be taking place on the same night as Warner East's?
It's no big deal.
What I learned about Europe is that the UK is a different island. So, I respect the UK because, a lot of, Jamaicans, migrated to United Kingdom. So it's a heavy presence in reggae music in the UK.
Mm-hmm.
But from this side of the world, when we think of Europe being, Germany, Switzerland, and then we think of the UK separate.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So for the UK Cup Clash, you're gonna have your peoples, because it's like I said, it's the heavy, West Indian population in the UK. So and then in the war in the East, you have all everywhere else. You have Italy, you have all these places that I know for a fact that you have followed from the last time we were there. We met people from France, we met people from Switzerland, Sweden. So I know war in the East has its following. And the UK has its following. So I don't think it'd be a problem. I mean,
I pretty much like it. I like that because that's two big epic clashes in one day, in one night.
And both dances are going to be rare.
And both neither one is going to flop.
It's not going to
I'm pretty sure the promoters know that.
Mm-hmm.
And both clashes have big lineups.
I just feel bad for the hardcore Clash fans in Europe who would have been at both. Now they got a decision.
To make.
I feel bad for that.
You can't go to one and go to the other. You can't fly from across town in the middle.
But at the end of the day, I think both places have their fan bases, and I think it's gonna work out good.
Yeah, I like the idea though. I like it. Two big clashes one night. Yeah.
Speaking of the UK, the night before this year's War in the East, you're going to be playing here, Birmingham to be exact, alongside Luv Injection at a night called Adrenaline Rush. Now, on the flyer, it says meets, but let me just clarify things. In your mind, is this a dance or a clash?
Listen, all right. This is a hardcore juggling dance fight, okay? This is Luv Injection, UK. You have to understand, Gibbo. My son is not even 5 years old yet. So just to be on a stage with a sound like that,
it's an honor.
It's
honor to be playing with Luv Injection.
So whatever it is, but don't get me wrong, however the dance goes is how the dance gonna go. We're just gonna, we're gonna give our,
I look at it as a hardcore juggling dance that some tension might build. Some tension might build in there, but it doesn't really matter.
Listen, at the end
you go there to play music.
At the end of the day, Luv Injection has been around, for decades, and we're fresh, But at the same time, this is gonna be our first time playing in the UK. So don't think we're gonna just go there and take this as just we're trying to gain fans on that side because we're coming for we want to go to the UK. I'd rather this be a clash, to be honest with you, than just a meet, but.
This is we taking it serious too,
and
we're preparation for that. We're prep for that too.
What I do know is in the UK, we're not a household name, not by far. As much as people think we're not a household name, a lot of people have never heard of Kosmik, so that's an advantage for us because we're gonna just like I said, we're gonna leave our stamp in the UK. So Luv Injection, I know this is your dance, but. We coming to take the night,
Surely you know as well as I do, if you manage to go into their hometown Birmingham, draw them into a clash and defeat them, your ratings would shoot up, not just in the UK, but around the whole world. It would be the talk of the internet too.
Of course, we know that. We know the world's gonna be, listening, waiting for that audio to come out. And at the end of the day, the all I can say, Adrenaline Rush, they're gonna get their money's worth. And on top of that, this is, the next day we fly right out to Berlin. So this for us, it's like a in and out thing. But we're gonna, we're gonna give it
a good night, good dance, good dance.
One often debated topic among Soundclash fans is who New York's number one sound is. Who do you think holds this title at the moment?
We can't say who's that because we don't really, not that we don't care, but at the end of the day, it's so many sounds in New York. There's so many, you can't really say who's the number one sound in New York is. I mean, There's sounds that's been around, since the 80s who want to hold that title, and then you have sounds who've been around for 15 and they win in every clash. So you can't really say, with us, we don't concern ourselves in that argument because, New York is just one place, so they can have the title. It's a big world out there. And that's one thing I learned in the last 3 years in traveling is it's a huge, this business, Sound Clash, is huge. It's big around the world. So we want to try to put our, we want to try to tap into those parts. We're from New York, and New York is the birthplace. New York is the Mecca. But at the end of the day, it's a big world out there. So we don't concern ourselves with that argument with who's the best in New York. We just concerned about Kosmik.
I'm sure it's a title that you wouldn't mind having one day, though. When do you think you'll be ready to challenge for it?
Of course, that's up to the people. Of course, we like the title, but the people judge that. Like us as soundmen.
Gibbo, you got to be able to crawl before you walk. So before we can even consider taking, we have steps to, it's a process. It might take 2 years, it might take 10 years. But like as I said earlier, we're not in a rush to take it. Right now, New York, it's a lot going on in New York right now. It's a lot, and we like to sit back and watch. And when it's our time to step on, then then we'll make that approach. But New York is just it's the Mecca, so it's just too many sounds.
What are your short-term goals for Kosmik? Say the next year or so. Where would you like to see yourselves in 2015? What would you like to accomplish in and out of the Sound Clash arena?
For me, I want to touch other parts of the world still. I know we've been to Europe, we've been to Canada, been to Jamaica, but places like Japan, we haven't seen Japan. I definitely want to go to Japan. I want to clash in Japan.
I want to hit some of them islands like Antigua. They got a lot of sounds down there that
Trinidad
that throw shots at, but Trinidad. And you know what? Promoters, they call, but they don't follow up with it. So I don't follow up with it. But there's a lot of little talks in some of these little islands that I want to
even because they keep clashes in Virgin Islands too. All those places.
And then we want to make ourselves more of a presence here in the United States. There's a lot of talk coming from Florida. We want to touch Florida and see what they're talking, because to me, Brooklyn. Brooklyn has the baddest sounds in the world. Say what you want. Even respect everybody from Florida. But
different places, more places in the world. Even locally, New Jersey. I want to go to New Jersey and clash. Different places in clash, and
and gain more fans. My short-term goals is to continue traveling. When we go forward in Eastern April, we worked out a 10-day tour. Yeah. So I want to be able to touch different parts of the world and leave a mark there and gain more fans because I know you're gonna ask next, long-term, girl. I'm gonna get to it before you. We want to make ourselves a brand. We want to make ourselves so this can go on for generations, so our kids can eat off of it. You know what I mean? So we're putting in the work in now to build that brand. And it's we have nothing but time on our hands.
Just more musical war and more musical tar. You know what I'm saying? More musical war, more musical talk. That's what we want to do. Mm-hmm. Short and long term. Yeah.
So which sound from Antigua is on your hit list there, Easy?
No, I was just saying for example. Example, but I actually have more sounds in Europe that I would like to kill before. But we'll wait till after War of the East to discuss that.
And one last question just before we finish, non-clash related. Easy, I noticed you posted a photo recently on Instagram of you sitting courtside for a Nets game at the Barclays Center. Now, those are the type of seats that money can't buy. I didn't realize that you and Mr. Prokhorov were so tight.
No, man. No. It's just I got a call through work, and I just happened to be there. So it's just Brooklyn Nets. Let's go, BK. It's Miami fan here.
Nah, LeBron James. That's what I'm trying to do. War in the East this year. Two-time champion like LeBron James. Mm-hmm.
Gibbo.